All right, I'd like to start off by saying Barakatah Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai, Hashem Rachakodash. Welcome to another live lesson. The name of this one is The City Shall Be Troubled. And this lesson comes to the inspiration of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, Hashem Rachakodash, based off of a video I was watching a little while ago. The brother Tazama from the Dallas camp. Let me see if I could pull up his video real quick. I'm just gonna say a few words and maybe, Lord's will later, maybe go into a little more. He did a lesson called, as you can see here, internment camps for those suspected of being disease carriers. And it's funny because I had a few pages that I've had for several weeks that I've had on my desktop. A couple of articles I had wanted to go into to do a lesson on, but I never got around to it. So now that he did this video, it opens up, the door to do this lesson. So I just put it in the comment section. So y'all, if y'all want to click on it and check the video out. But it's dealing with President Donald Trump's Operation Warp Speed. And you can see what it's about. It's about that Taboo 19 and how they're trying to jab everybody up, and using the military to do this. And you have this this individual, security advisor who Donald Trump just pardoned for. I forget what it was he did, but that's Esau. They do shit and they get away with it because other Edomites give them that, give them carte blanche, so to speak, which is just basically a fancy way of saying a blank check. So it says Trump's former national security advisor says the president should impose martial law to force new elections in battleground states. So because of this, right, this was December 18, 2020, because of this and this Operation Warp Speed and all the stuff you see going on, come January 6th, they're saying that there is a possibility that can spark another, civil war in America, like the one that happened back, I believe that was in the 1800s, if I'm not mistaken. I would have to fact check because I forget the exact dates. But this is pretty much what's going down, and based off of the so-called elections, based off of this so-called new strain, and how they, now they're saying that I believe it was Cuomo, that those that refuse, the Taboo 19 jab, they can be locked up in a detention center. Which goes into that Operation Warp Speed, which Operation Warp Speed is a public-private partnership initiated by the U.S. government to facilitate and accelerate the development, manufacturing, and distribution of Taboo 19 jabs, therapeutics, and diagnostics. The first news report of Operation Warp Speed was on April 29, 2020, which is about a good month and a half after, they locked things down. And the program was officially announced on May 15th, 2020. See, and April 29th, that's around the time of May 1st. So this was their May 1st event, because that's when they do their dirt, May 1st, which is May Day, which is when the so-called Illuminati was created, May 1st, 1776. It says, and the program was officially announced on May 15, 2020. And pretty much, if you want, you could read through here the history and goals in which they're going to be using, the military to enforce this, and and do it in a very powerful way, as Trump said. All right. Let's see. That Donald Nero, as Donald Nero said. So like I said, you can read through here if you want to get any more understanding on it, but it's pretty much where they're pushing through these jabs quickly, and then he's going to use the military to help push them forward. You know. Let's see. All right, so let's move on. So then, what that's going to cause is what? It's going to cause martial law, and when martial law is imposed, what happens is things lock down. Hence the name of the lesson. You know, the cities shall be troubled. And I meant to do something real quick before I started, but I got a little sidetracked. So let me just do that now. So moving on, martial law. Martial law is a temporary imposition of direct military control of normal civil functions or suspensions of civil law by a government, especially in response to a temporary emergency where civil forces are overwhelmed or in the occupied territories. And that's occupied territory. And this is why they use these different riots, you know, Antifa and Black Lives Matter and things of that nature, to cause, you know, the paid agents to get things popping and moving and overwhelm the police, so that can justify the military coming in. And being that this, you know, this is a unprecedented event, you know, where they're gonna roll out these jabs, you know, they're gonna need the military to push it quicker, you know, among the people. And it gives you a list of martial law by countries and how they're used, and you could, you know, go into it if you want. But the main thing to take away from it is martial law is pretty much the imposition where the government or any government is pretty much ruled by the law of military, you know, which is funny because they have that, let me see, that American flag with the yellow fringe around it, as you see here, which is nothing more than pretty much the law of the high seas, you know, maritime, you know, Admiralty law or something like that. I can't remember the exact, but it has something to do with the law of the high seas, because pretty much Esau is just a pirate, bottom line. And that's what the scriptures say. Let's go real quick before we get the other precept to the book of Revelation, chapter 13, which is a very important book in reference to today's, to the prophecy today, because, you know, there's a very important prophecy in here, which is the mark of the beast, which is the microchip, which is in the process of coming to light, you know, speaking right now. So it's very important, and this is why we constantly go over Revelation 13, because we're in the time where this prophecy is coming to light. All right, Revelation 13:11, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth. This is dealing with America, which is the revival of the ancient Roman Empire with her allies, such as NATO and the EU. And he had two horns like a lamb, and the two horns are representative of the two factions of Esau, you know, the good, so-called good and the bad. You know, the two parties, the Democrats, Republicans, you know, good cop, bad cop, you know, the red and the blue, you know, so on and so forth, which goes into their political system. And they speak as a lamb because their whole thing is, well, you know, we just want to take care, you know, our most needy, you know, the worst, the downtrodden, you know, the so-called Negroes and so-called Latinos and Native American Indians to get this first. You know, like Cuomo said, he would love to get his jab first, but he's going to step aside and let Jake, you know, take it first, because they're so concerned. That's what the scriptures say, never trust thine enemy. And that scripture should be ringing true every day, you know, and especially in these times. So it says he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. Now a dragon is known for his ferocity, you know, for being fierce. You know, he's keen, but he's also fierce. And what this leads into is their draconian laws and measures that they're pushing and imposing upon the people, because they have that power to do so. Isaiah 10:1 tells us that woe unto them that decree unrighteous decree. So what is a decree? A decree is a law, a mandate. So woe or destruction unto them that decree unrighteous decrees. That, in other words, they bring to law, because it starts off as a bill, and then it becomes law. So they're pushing these unrighteous laws and putting it within the system of law that they have set up. It says, and that right grievousness which they have prescribed. And the grievousness is what? These draconian laws that are set up to destroy the children, the heritage of the Most High. But you're only going to get so far. And then it says here, which they have prescribed. The word prescribed or prescription is pre-written. Because remember, they have an agenda, and that agenda is pre-written as to what they want to do. It says to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. And that's pretty much what they plan to do. And that's what, anything that Esau does law-wise is always set up to rob somebody of their inheritance, or destroy someone. So the scripture that I wanted to highlight in this was in 2nd Ezra 15, dealing with the city shall be troubled. So let's go right to the point. I was going to read down to it, but let's just go straight to the point. 2nd Ezra 15 and 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. And remember, this is going to be a worldwide event. We read Revelation 12 and 10 down to 12, and it speaks about this dragon, which is the Edomite Empire, having wrath, and he's going to come down upon the inhabitants of the earth. And this is what they're pushing. It says, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. So there's going to be race wars, there's going to be class wars, there's going to be wars, of the common people against the established government, the martial law troops, the police force, SWAT force, or whatever the case may be. And this thing that if the situation so-called doesn't get rectified by January 5th, then January 6th, it could be all hell break out as far as a civil war between Esau, which goes into the book of Isaiah, the 19th chapter, which is another scripture that's prevalent in prophecy. Isaiah 19 and 2, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. So there's going to be civil wars. I mean, there's been civil wars, but this could just very well be what sets this second civil war off. It says, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom, because these devils on the left hand are trying to impose their new world order, which is robbing the average citizen of their rights. And certain citizens know their rights, and they're armed to the teeth, and they will resist, they will fight, like these militia groups and stuff like that. But we are waiting for the Lord of the heaven, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, to come and deliver us from this destruction, from this time of trouble. So verse 15, it says, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands, which the modern day swords are what? The guns. For there shall be, and gun sales are up a whole lot within the last couple of years, because they know something is coming. For there shall be sedition among men, meaning they're going to come against each other and invading one another. Why? Because it's going to be, anarchy. There's going to be a lack of needs and goods and services that some people are going to want to take from others. It says they shall not regard the kings nor princes, because they're not going to listen to the senators, the presidents, the vice presidents, the mayors, the church leaders. They're not going to listen to the police or anything that they put up. Why? Because they're going to be in desperation. It says, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So whatever they do is no longer going to be under the power of the government. It's going to be whatever they deem to be right. It's going to be survival of the fittest. It says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Why? Because there's going to be martial law imposed. You're going to have checkpoints. And we've been saying this before the YouTube era, and here it is, 2021, and still, through the Spirit, still saying it. It says, for because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled. And this is the name of the lesson here. Because of their pride, the pride of Esau, the pride of these nations, the pride of Jake, that are pushing forward the agenda of Esau by accepting his philosophies and doing the things that are against the Most High based off of the so-called rights and the philosophies and doctrines of Esau. So for because their pride, the cities shall be troubled, their houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Yeah, because, you know, it's going to be a war zone out here. It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses and with the sword and spoil their goods. Why? Because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So there's going to be great tribulation that's going to take place and take hold upon this society. You know, I'll read a couple of these precepts on the comment board, and then I'll close it out with that. And like I said, Lord's will, I could come back and do another maybe finish out this lesson with some more precepts. What's that? Chadash, First Maccabees 1:41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all shall be one people, because that is the ultimate goal, and that everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. It says, yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion. A lot of Israelites are consenting to this. And that's why it says, because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. It says, and sacrifice unto idols and profane the Sabbaths. You know, and Jake don't know when the Sabbath comes in. It says, for the king had sent letters by messengers. And this is a representation of their legislation back then, which was in the form of a letter or letters unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they should not shall follow the strange laws of the land. See, brother Yashalam, Isaiah 13:14, and it shall be as a chase roe and as a sheep that no man taketh up, they shall every man turn to his own people. Yeah, because it's going to be race wars and class wars. Jemes loyalty, Isaiah 24:12, and the city is left desolation, and the gate is smitten with destruction. Yeah, this is after the, eventually after the destruction, but leading up to the destruction, there's going to be that time of trouble, which is the time of Jacob's trouble, which is going to bring hell upon the earth. The brother Karatazar out in Vegas, 2nd Ezra 8:50, for many great misery shall be done to them that in the latter time, which we're in, shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride, which this is an excellent link to the 18th verse of 2nd Ezra 15. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. All right. Yeah, that's a good one too. Chadash. 2nd Ezra 13:31, and one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another. That's right. Yeah, the Sabbath is today. Yep, until the evening. Yep. So just check in your wherever you live. Just check and see what time the sun goes down in your city, state, whatever the case is, and you'll see what time the sun goes down. That's when the Sabbath ends. The new Sabbath is coming in the following week, so you got another week, and then it'll be back to back. But we'll post that up, Lord's will, tomorrow. We'll post up the new moon vid. All right, so pretty much with that, I'm gonna close it out there. And like I said, Lord's will, I could come back and do and pretty much build on this topic, because it is a lot to it. So with that, I pray that your brothers have been edified. Until the next time I say shalom and through water for all the comments and scriptures.